Hello, Steve White, Trek Way 89 for Steve White's 89. Well, 55th anniversary of Star Trek Day and everything. I still haven't seen the whole live streaming event, but just watching some of the little videos. And there was a new trailer for Prodigy and Lower Decks. And Prodigy was a little disappointing because there are a couple of elements that I was hoping they'd avoid. They actually show the kids basically stealing the ship from the planet with no help from Janeway. I kind of was thinking, well, if they've got a hologram that's actually directing them and helping them and is controlling the ship or something and helping them fly it, then that makes sense. That's plausible. But oh no. In the trailer, they have the kids basically just pressing buttons and working out how to make the ship fly and how to make the pew pew happen. It's really bad. We see the ship crashing, like hitting hills as it flies out of the valley and everything, and you literally see them saying, you know, how do we make the pew pew happen? Where's the pew pew button? I don't know where the pew pew button is. Just keep hitting buttons till things go pew pew. And I'm like, God, this is really not. I wanted an intelligent show. You can do a show for kids that's fun, but it's still intelligent, that explains and makes things plausible. And just a bunch of kids getting on a ship and just pressing buttons and making something as complicated as a starship fly without any assistance is unbelievable, and you just can't buy into it. And I know what you're saying, oh, it's for kids. Well, kids are smart too, and they're not going to buy into that either. They're not going to sit there and eat that. Like I wouldn't have when I was a kid. I would have been like, well, how come this, how come that? That's the kind of audience that you want, but they don't. They don't want an intelligent audience because they want the general audience to watch. They don't want the sort of Star Trek audience, the old Star Trek audience, which was sort of elitist, intelligent people who sort of were sort of a niche audience. So they're going for the general audience and dumbing it down. And that's what I was afraid of. But I was trying to think, no, they won't do that. And I was looking at the visuals and thinking, well, the visuals are beautiful. All they have to do is just make it all plausible, make it intelligent, and then they can tell whatever story they want. But no, they're going for the pew pew. And they had a few other things in it, which was kind of interesting. They had some all-terrain vehicles that they sort of launch out of the ship and drive around in, which is not really Star Trek, but they did that in Nemesis. So, you know, but that's because they couldn't afford to have the ships flying, so they just made, you know, all-terrain vehicles instead. The other thing they did announce, which I had heard, but I kind of wasn't paying attention. They did actually announce that John Noble is playing one villain called Divineer or something, and then there's another actor called Jimmy Simpson who's playing Dreadnought, who's another character. So there's two baddies in this who are basically chasing the kids to get the ship back and to get them back because they were prisoners or slaves or something. So the show seems to be less about exploration and intelligent storytelling and more about just silly kid stories and, oh, there's a baddie chasing them, so they're just running from this baddie every week rather than actually exploring space and doing anything like Star Trek-like. So a bit disappointed there. Lower Decks, it was just a lot of just footage of just random things just to show, hey, this is what's happening this season. And the only thing that stood out was they actually showed the Borg, and they actually said you will be assimilated, and Bourne was like, yeah, no. And I'm like, no, we can't make fun of the Borg. I mean, it's hard enough to take them seriously and have them scary now after the Borg Queen and all the things that happened on Voyager, but now to just make a joke out of them. They used to be a truly terrifying alien. And by the time they're done with them, I don't think they are going to be anymore. So that's a bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't use the Borg. I was hoping they wouldn't sort of go down that route. Much like with Picard, I forgot to mention the preview when they show the Borg Queen. Basically, they've got her stuffed in a cupboard. Basically, it's like, well, we need to time travel. Let's just pull the Borg Queen out of storage, and we'll just plug her in, and she'll, you know, help us travel through time and space. And I'm like, that's so demeaning, and that's so belittling, and so reducing the Borg from this terrifying enemy that Starfleet had to face to just, oh, we've just got the Borg Queen in the closet here on Earth. We'll just pull her out and plug her into like travel. I'm like, oh wow. Trying not to be negative, but I'm not taking much away from this. So I just sort of want to talk about those couple of trailers because that's sort of all that we got as far as I know. There also was something on the motion picture, but I'm going to do a separate video about that just because I just love the motion picture and I can't talk about that for a whole 10 minutes. But yeah, so we got Pew Pew Prodigy, and we got Lower Decks making fun of the Borg, and we got Picard pulling the Borg Queen out of the closet. Okay, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of these wonderful developments. Bye.